37 Surah As-Safat. But not the chosen servants of Allah. Those will have a provision determined. Fruits, and they will be honored. In gardens of pleasure. On thrones facing one another. There will be circulated among them a cup of wine, from a flowing spring. White and delicious to the drinkers, no bad effect is there in it, nor from it will they be intoxicated. And with them will be women limiting their glances, with large, beautiful eyes, as if they were delicate eggs, well protected. And they will approach one another, inquiring of each other. A speaker among them will say, "Indeed, I had a companion on earth." Who would say, "Are you indeed of those who believe that when we have died and become dust and bones, we will indeed be recompensed?" He will say, "Would you care to look?" And he will look and see him in the midst of the hellfire. He will say, "By Allah, you almost ruined me. If not for the favor of my Lord, I would have been of those brought in to hell." Then, are we not to die? Except for our first death, and we will not be punished? Indeed, this is the great attainment. For the like of this let the workers, on earth, work. 31 Surah Luqman. Indeed, those who believe and do righteous deeds, for them are the gardens of pleasure, wherein they abide eternally. It is the promise of Allah, which is truth. And He is the exalted in might, the wise. 34 Surah Saba. And it is not your wealth or your children that bring you nearer to us in position, but it is, by being, one who has believed and done righteousness. For them there will be the double reward for what they did. And they will be in the upper chambers of paradise, safe and secure. 39 Surah Az-Zumar. But those who have feared their Lord, for them are chambers, above them chambers built high, beneath which rivers flow. This is the promise of Allah. Allah does not fail in His promise. But those who feared their Lord will be driven to paradise in groups until, when they reach it while its gates have been opened and its keepers say, "Peace be upon you, you have become pure, so enter it to abide eternally therein," they will enter. And they will say, "Praise to Allah, who has fulfilled for us His promise and made us inherit the earth, so, we may settle in paradise wherever we will. And excellent is the reward of righteous workers." 41 Surah Fussilat. Indeed, those who have said, "Our Lord is Allah," and then remained on a right course, the angels will descend upon them, saying, "Do not fear and do not grieve but receive good tidings of paradise, which you were promised." 42 Surah Ash-Shura. And thus we have revealed to you an Arabic Quran that you may warn the mother of cities, Makkah, and those around it and warn of the day of assembly, about which there is no doubt. A party will be in paradise and a party in the blaze. You will see the wrongdoers fearful of what they have earned, and it will, certainly, befall them. And those who have believed and done righteous deeds will be in lush regions of the gardens, in paradise, having whatever they will in the presence of their Lord. That is what is the great bounty. It is that of which Allah gives good tidings to His servants who believe and do righteous deeds. Say, O Muhammad, I do not ask you for this message any payment, but only goodwill through kinship. And whoever commits a good deed, we will increase for him good therein. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and appreciative. 43 Surah Az-Zukhruf. To whom Allah will say, O my servants, no fear will there be concerning you this day, nor will you grieve, you, who believed in our verses and were Muslims. Enter paradise, you and your kinds, delighted. Circulated among them will be plates and vessels of gold. And therein is whatever the souls desire and, what, delights the eyes, and you will abide therein eternally. And that is paradise which you are made to inherit for what you used to do. For you therein is much fruit from which you will eat. 44 Surah Ad-Dukhan. Indeed, the righteous will be in a secure place, within gardens and springs, wearing garments of fine silk and brocade, facing each other. thus. And we will marry them to fair women with large, beautiful, eyes. They will call therein for every kind of fruit, safe and secure. They will not taste death therein except the first death, and he will have protected them from the punishment of hellfire. As bounty from your Lord. That is what is the great attainment. 46 Surah Al-Ahqaf. Indeed, those who have said, Our Lord is Allah, and then remained on a right course, there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Those are the companions of paradise, abiding eternally therein as reward for what they used to do. And we have enjoined upon man, to his parents, good treatment. His mother carried him with hardship and gave birth to him with hardship, and his gestation and weaning, period, is 30 months. He grows, until, when he reaches maturity and reaches the age of 40 years, he says, My Lord, enable me to be grateful for your favor which you have bestowed upon me and upon my parents, and to work righteousness of which you will approve and make righteous for me my offspring. Indeed, I have repented to you, and indeed, I am of the Muslims. Those are the ones from whom we will accept the best of what they did and overlook their misdeeds, their being among the companions of paradise. That is, the promise of truth which they had been promised. 51 Surah Ad-Dariyat. Indeed, the righteous will be among gardens and springs, accepting what their Lord has given them. Indeed, they were before that doers of good. They used to sleep but little of the night, and in the hours before dawn they would ask forgiveness, and from their properties was given the right of the needy, petitioner and the deprived. 88 Surah Al-Ghashiyah. Other faces, that day, will show pleasure. With their effort, they are satisfied. In an elevated garden, wherein they will hear no unsuitable speech. Within it is a flowing spring. Within it are couches raised high, and cups put in place, and cushions lined up, and carpets spread around. 18 Surah Al-Kahf. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, indeed, we will not allow to be lost the reward of any who did well in deeds. Those will have gardens of perpetual residence, beneath them rivers will flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold and will wear green garments of fine silk and brocade, reclining therein on adorned couches. Excellent is the reward, and good is the resting place. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, they will have the gardens of paradise as a lodging, wherein they abide eternally. They will not desire from it any transfer. 16 Surah An-Nahl. And it will be said to those who feared Allah, What did your Lord send down? They will say, That which is good. For those who do good in this world is good, and the home of the hereafter is better. And how excellent is the home of the righteous! Gardens of perpetual residence, which they will enter, beneath which rivers flow. They will have therein whatever they wish. Thus does Allah reward the righteous. The ones whom the angels take in death, being good and pure, the angels will say, Peace be upon you. Enter paradise for what you used to do. 14 Surah Ibrahim. And those who believed and did righteous deeds will be admitted to gardens beneath which rivers flow, abiding eternally therein by permission of their Lord, and their greeting therein will be peace. 23 Surah Al-Mu'minun. They who are during their prayer humbly submissive. And they who turn away from ill speech. And they who are observant of zakah. And they who guard their private parts. Except from their wives or those their right hands possess, for indeed, they will not be blamed. But whoever seeks beyond that, then those are the transgressors. And they who are to their trusts and their promises attentive. And they who carefully maintain their prayers. Those are the inheritors. Who will inherit Al-Firdaus. They will abide therein eternally. 32 Surah As-Sajdah. As for those who believed and did righteous deeds, for them will be the gardens of refuge as accommodation for what they used to do. 52 Surah At-Tur. Indeed, the righteous will be in gardens and pleasure, enjoying what their Lord has given them, and their Lord protected them from the punishment of hellfire. They will be told, "Eat and drink in satisfaction for what you used to do." They will be reclining on thrones lined up, and we will marry them to fair women with large, beautiful eyes. And those who believed and whose descendants followed them in faith, we will join with them their descendants. And we will not deprive them of anything of their deeds. Every person, for what he earned, is retained. And we will provide them with fruit and meat from whatever they desire. They will exchange with one another a cup of wine, wherein results no ill speech or commission of sin. There will circulate among them servant boys, especially, for them, as if they were pearls well protected. And they will approach one another, inquiring of each other. They will say, "Indeed, we were previously among our people fearful of displeasing Allah. So Allah conferred favor upon us and protected us from the punishment of the scorching fire. Indeed, we used to supplicate Him before. Indeed, it is He who is the Beneficent, the Merciful."